I'm Agnelo Joseph, co-founder of Tattva EduTech, business consulting and media. I'm talking to you about the importance of skilling and reskilling as professionals, as financial advisors, and as an organization. Why it is important. Of late, we have seen that many organizations are struggling, especially now with the post-pandemic scenario. Struggling to find people to be productive because there's a whole work environment which has changed. Struggling to engage, struggling to communicate. And one of the thought processes that is emerging is skills to work in different environment is becoming very important. A recent report by National Skills Development Corporation of India states we are around 1.6 million jobs being created by the year 2022. The question is, do we have the talent? Do we have the skills as professionals to occupy those jobs? Or as organization, are we ready to look at creating those kind of talents for future business opportunities? Organizations many times invest a lot of energy on strategies, building thought process, building visions, but skilling really is seen as an important cobweb of the entire strategy. Without skills, it's not very possible for us to move forward. So that's very important for an organization to invest in their talent. Some of the challenges that is emerging when we look at why the skill gap is there. And one of the challenges that we see is when you are an advisor or when you are a counselor or a coach for your customers, the emotional connect, the emotional understanding, the intelligence sometimes is found missing. The other part is you may be very job skill oriented, but when it comes to future skill oriented, using various tools and technology, that is found wanting. If you look at a closer look at the job skills versus the future skills, then you'll find a huge gap, especially now with technology coming in, that becomes a challenge. The other is, we look at performance as the major yardstick, but we don't try to understand how performance can be sustainable for long term. In order to have a long term sustainable performance, we need to look at the skill part of it. The other big challenge I also see is when we are hiring talents. Are we hiring talent rightly with the right skills, or are we looking at talent which can be skilled up, or are we giving them time to skill up? Is there a plan for you to build those skills up? In an organization, it's very important to have a strong learning culture. And when I say learning culture, means the skilling culture. Continuous reskilling is required. Otherwise, we end up fighting on productivity issues, we fight on performance issues, we find innumerable issues for scaling up. And with pandemic now, with the change in scenarios, the environment completely looking very different, structures coming down, infrastructure coming down, it becomes very important to have a highly competent, skilled workforce, which can be spoken about, which can be engaged upon. And here's what I see that one needs to really spend on. I think we need to look at technology skills very primarily for all our workforce. And as professionals, we also need to understand how we need to gear up, especially when we look at AI and other element of technology. This is very important that we look at investing in technology base. Look at the hiring process. Are we looking at right match skilling? Can we look at a hiring process more from an analytical data perspective so that we get to hire good talent? Are you building good analytical tools in your hiring process? Maybe that could be another area where we could think of investing. Are we looking at our performance management skills, business skills? Many a times I have seen that organizations have a lot of visions and plan, but very thought of clarity being transitioned among employees is missing. Spend a time on trying to give a clarity on the vision, on the strategy. Perhaps you'll see a lot of change. And for that, probably financial understanding is another area or a skill which you can invest upon in people. Start looking at that skill, because that's very important. Because if your workforce understands the financial working of the organizations at a broader level, perhaps they'll understand the need to how to engage with customer. They'll understand the purpose better. It's not about customer service, it's about how you create customer centric solutions. So, customer centricity is another skill that we need to imbibe in people. And now, especially in this pandemic where people are working from home, how do you really build those skills in your employees? So, you got to start investing. Skilling is important not from today but from future. Invest upon it, and I'm sure you'll see a lot of benefit. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.